CFA fam. It's Prop Talk, baby. We're back. Week 1. Playa props. Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It's good to see you. Good to be back. Ready to get some bets going on. I have, at last check, 16 bets in tomorrow. That's actually less than I thought it was. But I had a bunch of college in that came off the board. So we're doing pretty good. We had a good Thursday night to start. Hit the first touchdown, so that's always a nice one, and a couple other ones, and we're ready to get some more tomorrow.
Yeah, man, that Sam, I did a little Sam Laporta, David Montgomery anytime touchdown parlay, and that was a nice start. Then we had Kansas. Me and you were going back and forth talking about some Kansas football. We had a Kansas bet yesterday, and now it's time to turn our attention to the pros, and we'll do some prop talks. Let's not waste any time, man. I'm going to give you the floor first. Let's give the folks some props.
All right. Well, I figured since we are all a bunch of degenerates, we would start off the year with someone who also has a gambling problem. Calvin Ridley over 62 and a half yards. That's at -130. Welcome back, Calvin Ridley, man. I feel like he's just going to pop the fuck off this year. Vibes are great. Loving what the offense should be able to do. With Calvin Ridley, they have a true number one. It's going to be a trickle-down effect for the offense. Make no mistake, that team's going to chuck the rock. Dougie P just fucking lives for the passing game. Trevor Lawrence is going to make that leap this year. And from everything we've seen from Calvin Ridley, it looks like he is going – he's been like on fast forward. If you've been watching videos, it's like, dude, is that at like 1.5 times speed or something? Because people's feet shouldn't move that fast. I am absolutely bullish on him this year. Gets a great matchup out of the gate against the Colts. Also, don't discount the fact that this is a dome, and we might have some shitty weather around the league tomorrow. So that's a good thing. I think they get him involved early and often. He absolutely feasts. Calvin Ridley is an absolute smash tomorrow. Welcome back. Let's fucking go, Calvin. Let's get it going.
I love it, man. Love Calvin this year. There were a couple that I went through that I didn't get to write down, so I don't want to make them official picks for the show. But I certainly think like Trevor Lawrence, longest completion is in play. His passing yards are in play. So I like that game. I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to go to the running back position. I'm going to go to Travis Etienne and go over his rushing yards at 60.5. The Jags are favored by 4.5 points on the road. Etienne went over this total in 8 games last year. And I think the fact that Lawrence is going to shred that secondary, like if you look at their secondary and their depth chart, they're starting some names that even like some of the hardcore NFL fans wouldn't even recognize. So I think because of that fact that he's going to be able to more or less do whatever he wants against that secondary, that's going to keep that defense on their heels. That's going to help open up some rushing lanes. DeForest Buckner can't do everything himself. So I like Etienne here on the rushing yards. I think he hits that pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I also have an Etienne bet that is over 15.5 yards for his longest rush. Love that matchup. He's an explosive play waiting to happen. The Jaguars had 339 rushing yards last season against the Colts in their 2 matchups. So there's going to be plenty of yards available, even if Bigsby is involved. He topped that 15.5 yard mark in 9 games last season, one of which was against the Colts. That was including week 1. They played them last year, I believe, where he was coming off the injury, and he didn't really have his legs underneath of him yet. So I love that Etienne bet there.
Thanks, man. What you got next?
I have Devonta Smith over 61.5 yards. That's at -115. It would honestly not surprise me if the Slim Reaper had more receiving yards than A.J. Brown this year. He has been fantastic in camp, ready to take a leap, gets a matchup this week that doesn't scare me at all against the Patriots. He's going to get either Christian Gonzalez or Jonathan Jones, none of which scare me. I think they're going to attack Christian Gonzalez whoever he's on early and often. Rookie corner. Love the prospect, but drawing either Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown right out of the gate is not exactly something that you want to see lining up across you just to kind of get your legs under as a corner. The spread is oddly close at 4 points, so it might be closer than some people think, which is going to keep the Eagles throwing. I don't think it's a 4-point game, but I also don't think it's going to get out of hand. I'm going to say Devonta hits that number in the first half. Slim fucking Reaper season, baby. Let's go. Devonta Smith over 61.5 yards.
Yeah, that's I feel like the spread is a trap. Like I'm looking at that, I'm like, how is this? Like I get it that the Eagles are on the road and the home field, is kind of
Right.
worth like three, a field goal or so, but still, man, like I'm looking at that, I'm just like, this should be a smash. And like the fact that I feel that way like has me like not I don't want to like just I'm staying away from that in terms of the spread, but I do like the passing options here. And they're gonna also be without Jonathan Jones. I think one of their corners has already been ruled out, and that's
Jones is already ruled out.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so I think Marcus Jones is next up then. So I think he'll be starting at the other side. Well, that's even better. Oh man.
Yeah, let me double check that real quick, but I'm 99% sure I saw that he was out. I could have sworn I saw that. I could have sworn I saw Jonathan Jones was out. Maybe not. But yeah, it does look like Marcus Jones behind him, and then Christian Gonzalez on the other side, and your boy Jalen Mills out there as well.
The double move, put Jalen Mills in the game and just double moves all day against them. It's going to be horrible. Self-scouting, baby.
I'm gonna start off strong. We always throw out too many overs. I feel like I'm gonna come with the fire here. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow under 265.5 passing yards. Burrow hasn't gone over this total against Cleveland since 2021. He actually went over 265.5 9 times last year. The Browns also allowed the 5th fewest passing yards last season with an average of 196.2 yards per game. They've added that defensive line with Dalvin Tomlinson and Shelby Harris. They picked up Zadarius Smith to go opposite of Myles Garrett to help with that pass rush. They obviously have a bunch of talent in that secondary. Denzel Ward is a really good corner. The Bengals offensive line ranked 30th in pass block win rate last year. And then you add in the fact that Burrow didn't get a ton of reps this offseason because of the calf injury. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a limiting factor in this game. By all indications, seems like he's going to be good to go. But just like knocking off some of that rust, I think could get him off to a slow start. So I'm going to go Joe Burrow under 265.5.
Yeah, that's always a tough one just because, like we talked about before, it's tough with every under because an explosive play basically destroys the bet. Ward is going to play, so maybe he limits Jamar a little bit. I don't know. It still scares me going under with Joe Burrow, but everything you said as far is factual, so I can't really debate that. So it's not. I get it. It still scares the shit out of me. I'm not positive what the weather is out there, but maybe that equalizes things a little bit as well because it's supposed to be a rainy day, at least on the East Coast tomorrow. I am going to go for my 4th bet, I suppose. Tyler Lockett over 57.5 yards. That's at -115. Death taxes Tyler Lockett early on in the season. Seahawks went out and got themselves another stud wide receiver in JSN, but that's kind of just going to open things up for Lockett and all of their weapons, and Gino's not just going to forget about Tyler Lockett. Topped this number 10 times last year, opened the year last year, 4 out of 5 games, over 75 yards, and now he gets to face a Rams team without Jalen Ramsey, and that secondary is probably going to be a hot damn mess. Ahkello Witherspoon and Darian Kendrick are just, I'll be nice, they're not good. They're not fucking good. Basically, if I had a pail full of shitty diapers and I went down, like threw them over the fence next door and I burned them, that might smell better than what that secondary is going to smell like when they get torched by fucking DK and Tyler Lockett this week. It's going to be bad.
I thought you said you were going to be nice.
That was nice. That was the nicest I could be. I don't understand. And the funny part is I don't even love this as much as the other two bets, which means this is going to be the one that just pops the fuck off and just destroys the over. So just expect Lockett to just blow up tomorrow because I'm like, yeah, no, I think I like it. And then he's going to be the one who's like first quarter, 70-yard touchdown over, whatever. So Tyler Lockett is going to just – he'll be just fine. And if you like DK Metcalf, bet him too. That's something I like actually doing sometimes with wide receivers like this and, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill. There's no way you're not going to get one of those guys to hit their over. And a lot of the time you're going to get both. So, yeah, I like them. So pick your poison if it's DK or Tyler Lockett and just go from there. But the Rams secondary is just dirty garbage on fire.
I will stay in that game. I'm going to go on the other side of the ball, and I'm going to go Tyler Higbee over 45.5 receiving yards. This one is pretty simple for me. No Cooper Kupp. Obviously, he hit the IR a couple hours ago, so he's going to be out at least for the first 4 games. And then you have the Rams going up against the defense that has struggled against tight end in recent seasons. Last year, the Seahawks gave up the second most receiving yards to the position. And then in the 2 years before that, they were, I think, 11th in terms of giving up receiving yards to tight ends. I mean, Van Jefferson, hasn't really been a thing despite him getting all of the hype in the offseason of his rookie season. Outside of that, you're looking at Tutu Atwell and rookie Puka Nacua, who I do like Puka, but I think especially for this first game, we're gonna be seeing a lot of Tyler Higbee. So I think he's able to get to this 46 pretty quickly, just based off of volume and opportunity alone. And especially if the Seahawks do come out and just smack them around, they're gonna be playing from behind. That's gonna help lead into the opportunity as well.
That one I do like, so I'll give you that one.
Oh, thanks.
Do you have any other bets? I have a couple more, but I don't have write-ups or anything because they're kind of self-explanatory.
I do like Josh Allen under 252.5 passing yards. He's actually only averaged 226.8 yards against the Jets in his career. And last year, the Jets allowed the third fewest passing yards with less than 190 per game. And they actually held Allen to 205 and 147 passing yards in their 2 games last year. So, then you add in the fact that Aaron Rodgers is now the quarterback for the Jets. That means they should be able to at least sustain drives a little bit more than what they were doing with the scrap heap of quarterbacks they had last year. So I like the under in that. And I think in Allen's career in the division, I want to say he's at less than 240 passing yards per game just in the AFC East. So I like that one. Mac Jones under 34.5 yards for his longest completion. You were talking about that game a little bit, obviously, with Devonta Smith. But who the hell is going to stretch the field for the Patriots here? You have Devontae Parker on the injury report already. There was that report that came out that, Juju's knee could explode at any minute. Obviously, that is a little overstated. But he does have the knee issue. They let go of Tyquan Thornton, who should have been their speed receiver. So now you have Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, and Mike Gesicki. And, the Eagles did lose some pieces on that defense, but the secondary is relatively unscathed. At least their bigger names are still there on the outside. They still have Vontae Maddox playing in the slot. So I just don't see how many explosive plays that Patriots offense is going to have. So I really like the under at 34.5 yards for its longest completion.
So that's going to be like the only way I think that happens is if it's a busted play, because we still have Bradbury on one side, Slay on the other side. We lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but we have Reed Blankenship, who played really well in his absence. And then, honestly, the other safety, we don't know yet who it's going to be. They haven't named a starter. They're not going to name a starter. We're just going to see who it is. It's either going to be a rookie, Sidney Brown, or somebody else. Terrell Edmonds, who knows? But again, yeah. So we don't necessarily know who that's going to be. But at the same time, again, with the pass rush, they're going to have to get the ball out quick. I don't know how that's a busted coverage or a screen to Ramondre somehow where, there's a couple of missed tackles. So I like that one quite a bit too. Other ones I have a bunch of touchdown bets. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown. That was at plus 105. CMC, anytime touchdown. That is at plus 100. Bijan, anytime touchdown, that is at plus 105. And Jalen Hurts, plus 120 for an anytime touchdown. I like those. Those are all self-explanatory. If you have questions about why I like those, I'm shocked you're watching this show. Because those are your studs, and your studs, that's, they're going to score. I have Eagles over 12.5 points in the first half. That's at minus 120. I think they're going to score a couple touchdowns in that first half. And then I have a Ravens, Jags, and Washington 3-team parlay as well. And I have a couple other bets that are like combinations of some of these that you guys can figure out if you really want to.
Yeah, I wrote down a ton just like going through DK, but obviously didn't have enough time to like really research and go through the ones I wanted to make official picks. But just off the top of my head, Javonte Williams rushing yards, I like that. And when I looked at that two nights ago, that was at plus money as well. And I was at I want to say it was like 48.5. So, I do like that one just for, anytime to get plus money on Javonte Williams at a low total like that, I'm definitely going to be interested in it. Kenneth Walker, his total yards on the under, Josh Jacobs' total yards on the under were something I liked. Bijan Robinson, his rushing attempts were like at 15.5. I just don't see how he gets. Oh man, less.
15.
Less than that.
They're. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be more.
And then Ernest Jones.
You should have talked about that.
Ernest Jones tackles. I like for
who's that?
Over. Ernest Jones, the linebacker for the Rams. If we're expecting them to jump out, jump out into a lead, I think the Seahawks are going to run the ball. They're not going to just sling it, 40 times in that game. So
he's going to have to tackle people all day.
Yes. Yeah. So
all right, man.
Well, you ready to go through Walito's 87?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Najee Harris over 49.5 rushing yards at plus money.
Pittsburgh is playing the Niners. Yeah. So
plus money. It's whatever, but it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't get there.
No, not at all.
Jamal Williams 49.5.
I like that more than the Najee bet. Kendre Miller just got ruled is ruled out. He's not going to play tomorrow either. So you're down Miller and the other shithead Kamara, who I have rostered on too many dynasty leagues still, unfortunately. So yeah, good. I like the J.K. Dobbins rushing over 55.
I'd like Dobbins over. I like the Raheem Mostert over 52.5. The Chargers have had a tough time stopping the run for the past couple seasons, and he's going to be the guy in terms of running. I think we see a little bit of A-chain, maybe in the passing game, but I don't think he's going to be taking away a ton of carries.
especially early on. I mean, you
Yeah.
saw what David
He was
Montgomery did
banged
to
up.
Jameer Gibbs, who is much better than A-Chain. So um, teams like to lean on their veteran running backs early on.
Khalil Herbert over
Uh,
11.5 carries.
Bears they're playing the Packers. He should get that. He might. I mean, you never know with the Bears. I mean, he might come out and get nine carries in the first half and 2 carries the rest of the game.
Yeah, if I'm going to take the over here for Herbert, I'm going to take it early on in the season when
Yeah.
we're not expecting the other guys to mix in. So I do like that one. Shout out to the TFA Presidente for the super chat. He said he's happy to see you're still alive, Tom.
You know, I really appreciate that, man. I feel like that's a heartfelt message from the heart, and it really hits home. I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, that's very, very nice of Kev to see that he's happy you're still alive.
And especially being that Kansas City is the worst team in the NFL right now. So, I mean, I'm happy to see that he's still alive.
Oh, God. Here we go. Kev's about to jump on the show. Kenneth Walker, longest rush over 15.5 yards.
Sure. It was explosive last year, so that's fine. And it's against a Rams.
That defense is going to be atrocious. Yeah. Saquon over 90.5 total yards.
90.5 total against Man, that's right where it should be, dude.
Yeah, I think if I had to, I would lean the under, but that's one I would just stay away from.
Yeah.
Ayuk 52.5. Your guy Ayuk, tell him.
Well, I mean, he's basically been a magician, and the best player of all time in the offseason, according to reports. So I'll go over. What do you think about that against your Steelers?
Kev said, "I wish I could cancel the super chat." I think I don't know from a fantasy perspective. I think Debo is going to outscore Ayuk tomorrow, just because I think we see him used on some of those jet sweeps and pop passes and that sort of thing. And as much as the Steelers defense has improved with adding guys to basically every level of that defense, they don't have a ton of speed. So I think Debo is going to be able to use that to his advantage. The 52.5 is, I don't know how I really feel about it. Patrick Peterson coming in, Joey Porter with the Steelers first pick in the second round. So they did bring him some guys. Levi Wallace has been solid for us. So that's one of those ones I just don't have a strong lean on. Like I can honestly see that one going either way. I don't think Ayuk smashes that, but it wouldn't surprise me if he had 4 for 50 or if he went 7 for 66. You know what I mean? Somewhere around there.
Yes.
Pickens over 3.5 receptions.
I like his yards more. I think they're at 40. They're in the 40s.
I like his longest reception more. That was another one that I had.
That's why I like his. That's why I like his yards more. I think they were at 46.5 when I checked before, but I'm not positive.
You already talked about DK. You like that one. What about DJ Moore over 46.5 receiving yards?
Feels low, man. But it's the Bears, and you don't know what they're going to do with the running game and feel. I think he's going to go over there. I feel like that's low. I feel like Vegas is going to take a little bit of time to adjust to that if DJ Moore's a stud, which he is.
Mike Williams over 57.5 receiving yards. I'm surprised we didn't talk about any Chargers or Dolphins because I really like that game.
I like the over in that game, the overall over. And I looked at Keenan. Keenan was at I think 6.5 receptions. Tyreek's
I like his yards.
Yeah, I think Tyreek has the highest over for players or for receiving yards. He's in the 80s, 88 maybe, 83. I forget what it was. But they all make sense that there should be points in that game.
I don't even want to bring this one up, but since it's Walito, I will. Michael Thomas over 38.5 receiving yards.
Under.
He also likes the Michael Thomas anytime touchdown. I do like
Under.
I do like Chris Olave's longest reception. I can't remember what the yards were, but that was another one I had jotted down. So we're definitely going to be tossing around more just bets in general, more player props. Like I said, I still have to go through and do a bunch more that I did not have the time to. It's my wife's birthday weekend, so we were celebrating a little bit today. My son also had a soccer game, and by soccer game, I mean there are a bunch of 3 and 4 year olds just running around kicking each other for 45 minutes. So had a lot going on.
I've got you beat. I have a 4-year-old who went to soccer and a 5.5-year-old who went to soccer, and they were both at 2 different times on 2 different fields. So how's that?
That's why I'm happy to have one. And that's
What are you doing for the games tomorrow? You doing anything good? You got anybody over celebrating? Or are you gonna get some Primanti brothers? Are you gonna put some slaw on some fries? What are you doing to celebrate opening day?
We have to go buy a new TV because our TV in our living room shit the bed. So
it's a great day to buy one.
First of all, we'll be doing me and Maddie D from the DFS show here on TFA. We're gonna be doing the Sunday morning start sit show. So I'll be celebrating with that tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern for an hour. We'll be there to answer all your start sit questions, and then we're gonna TV shop. And then who knows? Maybe Bed Bath and Beyond. Just a nice little Sunday.
I wouldn't get a TV from Bed Bath and Beyond. The Beyond is not included TV. I am going to be enjoying the Eagles game with a Patriots fan. So I have a nice little like a Blackstone. I'm gonna do some cheesesteaks for lunch. I got 6 pounds of shaved ribeye. Some Cooper Sharp, some American, gonna make some whiz, and then my buddy is going to we're gonna have some lobster rolls for dinner. So we're gonna gourmet it up over here tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about it. And he's just I'm gonna drink his tears. That's what I'm gonna drink. His tears. Because he's gonna be crying.
It's weird. But hey, whatever makes you happy, Tom.
Have you ever had them in a martini? It adds the perfect amount of salt. You don't even need an olive.
Good to be back with you, man. The Discord link is in the description below. Like I said, we're going to be having we'll be throwing out a bunch more props and just bets in general. We talk college football. You'll see some baseball, some basketball, some hockey in there every once in a while. But now football is back in full swing. Super excited to be here with you all. Make sure you hit that like and that sub. We'll be back every Saturday to give you guys props and start off with winners. Talk to you next week.